So today we're staying at the Countryman and Campsite in Bolam in County Durham, which is just west of Newton Aycliffe and just south of West Auckland. So let's go and take a look around.
LeisureBit is the way to go with David, Rachel and Roxy. Let's hit the road and explore.
In today's video, we're off to the Countryview Campsite and Countryman pub, which is northwest of Newton Aycliffe and south of West Auckland in the village of Bolam. While we're there, we take a look around the village. We manage to catch lunch and our dinner in the Countryman pub, and on the way back, we stop off at Piercebridge and have a look at the Roman fort. So let's get cracking.
We're just going to call off en route at Kimberley Caravans in Darlington.
And we're on our way to the Countryman Inn at Bolam.
On the way to Bolam, we passed Kimberley Caravans, so we popped in to pick up a couple of bits and pieces. Let's just have a quick look round. There's an accessory shop with a good range of things you'd need for your campervan, caravan, motorhome or tent. Out the back there's a display area with a range of caravans, motorhomes and a few camper vans. There's also a children's play area. There's a small cafe in Kimberley as well that does a range of teas and coffees, snacks and some delicious looking cakes. They also stock a range of awnings, windbreaks and other accessories. Kimberley's located on the A68 to the west of Darlington.
If you want to go to Kimberley, you have to turn round at the roundabout and then go in that way. There used to be a cut across, but there isn't anymore.
We'll continue our journey now to Countryview Campsite and the Countryman at Bolam. You take the first exit at this roundabout and continue up the A68, and then continue on the road for a few miles and then take the second left turn to Bolam, not the first one, the second one, and then you come straight down here and across. We took the right turn there and just heading down the road now, which is our last stretch before we arrive at the village of Bolam. And here we are, and the Countryman Inn and the campsite is just the first left here. Turn in there now.
Turn in there and then you head straight down to get to the campsite.
We'd prepaid for the pitch when we booked it by bank transfer and paid £28 for a pitch without the use of electricity. I believe it was £32 with electric. On arrival, we checked in at reception. If there's no one on reception, just pop into the pub. And then we were given our paperwork and our pitch, and then we made our way down. The site has around 20 pitches and it had grown considerably since we last visited, but that was about 15 years ago. If you wish to, you can hire a fire pit from the campsite. You're not allowed to use your own one, but you can hire one. We're just passing the children's play area on the right hand side there. Right, that's us pitched up. We're on pitch number 8. I did need to use the levelling ramps just to level it up at the front. There were facilities on the site including waste disposal, grey water disposal, a chemical disposal point, a toilet block and showers, which were clean and tidy as you would expect. There's also additional facilities near the reception. The reception has a small shop with some bits and pieces that you may need for your stay. While we were there, we visited the Countryman pub. We grabbed a snack for lunch, and we also had a meal there on the evening. You can also get takeaways from the pub. As you can see, the pub's dog friendly, which is great, and they had a nice range of food. They do a Sunday carvery and a good range of food on the other days they're open. It's worth checking if you're visiting to make sure they're open that day and to book a table.
We're now going to go and have a little look round the village of Bolam. Let's go and take a look. What a beautiful village, and so peaceful and quiet. We're going to head up this track now that says it's unsuitable for motor vehicles. We're going to go and have a look and see what's up there. Oh dear, there's been a bit of a traffic jam in Bolam. The sheep are trying to cross the road. There's a car and a tractor. It's all going on here. Looks like the sheep are on the way again. Fingers crossed this time. Great news, they're all in. I was just talking to a couple that live at the farm at the end of this lane, and they were telling me about the village and about how much it's grown over the years, and how probably 20 years ago people didn't want to live here because the transportation wasn't very good, and so you could pick up a house for £56. £56! Bargain. I'd have 10 at that price. But they said it's really interesting now that it's a place that everybody wants to live. But back then, nobody wanted to be here. I'd move here for £56. Definitely. It's stunning. This was the house that used to be the schoolhouse, and it sold for £56. I think it's worth £56 of anybody's money, don't you? I think Roxy agrees. Bargain. Saturday afternoon, mid-afternoon, and it's so nice to be able to walk down the middle of a road. No cars coming, even though we've got rid of that traffic jam now. We're just strolling along. Heaven. And Roxy's enjoying it too.
Just next door to the campsite there's St Andrews.
After we'd had a wander around in Bolam and a nice relax out for the afternoon, we then went to the pub in the evening again for an evening meal, and it was really tasty. We both had starters, and we both had the same main course this time. We had a chicken parmo, which we'd really recommend. And I even managed to have a pudding. How about that?
Just wandering through the village of Bolam now. Just turned left out of the pub and just wandering down the village. There's a post box just down the village, just on the off chance you needed to post anything. There's a public footpath down this way. Roxy seems to know the way. I think this is where Rachel and Roxy must have come yesterday. The footpath then heads across the fields there. Let's have a look. Handy little seat here coming up if you wanted a rest. Love that plaque down there. This plaque commemorates that on this very spot nothing much ever happened. Love it.
After the walk with Roxy, it was then time to head off, as we were now heading to Piercebridge Roman Fort.
David's pulling off there. Do you think he's going to wait for me, or do you think he's going by himself?
Rachel then jumped in, and then we headed down the road, back to the main bit of the road, and then we turned right and headed down southbound till we got to the A67, and then we're going to make a left-hand turn here and another left-hand turn to go into the village of Piercebridge. Worth noting, there is a sign for the Roman Fort parking that we just passed before we turned here, and that one I didn't park at because there's a lot of overhanging trees. Would be absolutely fine in a car, but not so good in a van.
So we're now at Piercebridge Roman Fort. Dates from around 2060 AD, and it was an important place on one of the main Roman roads as it guarded the crossing of the River Tees.
Let's take a look now at Piercebridge, the Roman fort, and where the bridge used to be from above.
Roxy's really keen on this walk because she used to come here with the grandma when she was a puppy, so she knows where she's going. That sign says giant hogweed, do not touch this plant. I'm positive that we used to play with these plants when I was a kid. Is it just me, or did you used to play with them as well? I'm sure we used to. Anyway, I'm not going to go near them now that there's a sign saying caution.
So Rachel, what have you thought of the Countryview Campsite, Bolam and the Countryman Inn?
Bolam's beautiful. I had a really good walk through there. Friendly people, houses for £56 20 years ago. Really good. The campsite has changed dramatically. We last came here when we had the motorhome, so in excess of 15 years ago, and at that point it was just a tiny CL, and so they've done a really good job. The facility is beautiful. The pub was good. Very reasonable, £12.95 for 2 courses, as long as you had a drink, which we managed to have a drink, so really, really good. What about you?
Yeah, it's been really nice. The views are brilliant from the pitch. You can see across to the Cleveland Hills and across the Yorkshire Dales Hills on the kind of right hand side. So yeah, it's really good. We paid £28 for the night. We didn't go for a hookup, it would have been $32 if we had. But yeah, lovely site. Thank you for watching.
Hope you've enjoyed it.
And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.